All right, first up on the show is Gil Castillo Jr., the Director of Platinum Wealth Solutions, who helps businesses improve their employee retirement plans. Gil, welcome to the show. First timer. Are you nervous?
No, I feel good, actually. I'm really excited about this.
All right, awesome. Okay, so how did you get involved in the 401k business? Talk a little bit about that.
So that's a funny story, because I don't think anybody ever, decides they're going to go to school and grow up and be a 401k consultant. It just kind of happened, really. I spent 16 years previously working at USAA, and ended up working in a division called the Institutional Division, where USAA used to manage a number of old pension trusts, things of that nature, and they didn't really have anybody that could help those clients and third-party administrators with their plans. And I kind of got pushed into that role, did that for a number of years, and then years later, a colleague that I worked with on the outside ended up working for a local firm here in town and recruited me to leave the comfort of USAA and the compound and go out into the real world. And then I did my first 401k plan for one of the pretty big company here in town, and I realized I really liked working on employer plans. Not that I don't like working with individuals, I do, but it's a completely different game working with employer plans and helping plan sponsors, which we call the business owners themselves or the companies, and all other participants, with education and provide them better retirement outcomes. I mean, and once I bit that or got bit by that bug, I was stuck. I really love that space.
Cool. And how long have you been doing it now?
I've been an advisor for about 25 years. I've been specializing in employer plans for about 15 years.
Okay. And you're nationally recognized by NAPA. Just go real quick. What is NAPA and why is that significant?
So NAPA is the National Association of Plan Advisors. And so we're a part of NAPA, which is a great organization. They actually had their annual conference a few months back. We're also part of another group called Retirement Plan Advisory Group as well. And aside from that, I was put on this past year on the advisor group, Retirement Plan Advisory Council. Probably one of maybe 50 advisors nationwide that were chosen to be in that elite group, which makes me feel very special, I guess.
Yeah, and it sounds impressive too. It sounds like you, definitely know what you're doing. So we all here as business owners, 401ks are a great way to retain employees and give them benefits. But what size companies are you generally working with?
So we run the full gamut. I helped a client not too long ago. It's a startup solo lobbyist here in Texas start a plan for himself because he wanted to put additional funds away for retirement that he couldn't do through his IRAs and such. And so we actually set up a solo 401k for him. We also have clients that have several hundred employees. So it runs the full gamut. I can't say that we only do this size plans or that size plans. Really, our clients are very varied in terms of size, locations, asset sizes, and number of employees they have.
And how do you generally connect with all of these different industries and employers?
So most of the plans that we do or we work on are actually through word of mouth. So when we help our clients know other people too, and those individuals tell their colleagues of how we help their companies and their 401ks and participants, and then the word gets out, and that's usually how we get business. It's all pretty much referral based.
Wow.
Yeah, I found you on LinkedIn. I think that's where we kind of connected. At least I started seeing a lot of your material because you're pretty active on LinkedIn, right?
Exactly. I think social media is a presence. Now, I'm not going to tell you that I get tons of business because people call me and say, I want to have a 401k with you. But really, we use social media as more of a branding tool than anything else to kind of get the word out about what we do and how we help companies in the area.
Yeah, if someone's curious about you, you have an online presence that they can go and find and reassure themselves that you're legit.
Well, exactly. And, people are smart today. So if I do reach out to, let's say, a prospect or plan that I'd like to work on, those individuals, the powers that be that make the decisions, those companies, they're going to research you. They're going to look you up on social media, and they're going to see, hey, does this person really know what they're talking about? So we provide very, very relevant content to those business owners and those companies, things that are helpful to them. And it also shows kind of that we do have some expertise in this field as well.
So talk a little bit about your flow. So if you connect with an employer or an employee, how do you end up over at the business and then I guess doing your a demo or educational awareness or something? Talk about how you do that and then what the flow is to the employee.
So basically what we do or how we help a client is when I'm first introduced to a client, it's usually because that individual or that company, they're having problems with their 401k. It could be the fact that they either have an advisor that really isn't doing what I would say great work, or they haven't seen their advisor in a number of years, or they've left the business for what have you. So we get in, we meet with the clients, and the first thing is just to actually take an evaluation of the actual plan. So we get the necessary fee disclosures, and then we pull all the facts and numbers and costs out of what they're paying in every aspect, every component of that retirement plan, and then kind of see how it ranks from a national basis based on national standards. There are companies out there that track what all size plans should cost for the various components, whether for the actual record keeping, the administration, the advisor fees, the investment costs, and then there's a national ranking of what a plan of a certain size should cost, right? So then we take a look at what this plan's actually paying in reference to that benchmark, and it's either going to be they're going to be at or below or above the benchmark. And 9 times out of 10, they're usually way above the benchmark. So then once we go over that information, at that point, by that point, we've typically earned the support of that business owner, and then they let us, become the advisors of record on that plan, and then we do our job to fix that plan, make it better, providing them better service, better investment oversight, fiduciary oversight as well, and provide better education for their employees. At the end of the day, it's really all about helping a company save some money, helping the employees have better retirement outcomes with our help.
It sounds like once you get in front of them, you've got a way to show them really clearly the advantages of using your services. And I love that. But in any financial world, it seems like it's a very high trust relational situation. Like they have to trust you and they have to be willing to sit down with you before you can even get there. What are some of the common objections you see to people even wanting to sit down with you and go over those plans?
So I'll tell you, so we live in San Antonio, so everybody's familiar with mañana, right? So there's always mañana. So when I reach out to prospects at times, it could be that someone referred me to them or I found them somewhere. But we always try and find a plan to work on that needs work. And so in many cases, when I'm meeting with clients or prospects at that point in time, really, they don't know necessarily their plan has issues, right? So it's kind of our job to let them know that their plan has some issues, but that we can fix them, right? Nobody wants to be told their baby's ugly. Yeah. So what we try and do is we try to provide them relative information based on what we have and let them come to their own conclusion. Okay, so now it's not about just telling someone that, hey, your plan needs work. It's about, hey, your plan needs work, but here's how we can do to fix it, or here's what we can do to fix it. So I'm never there to blast and then not provide a solution. We're there to, at the end of the day, help them help their employees.
So we're kind of talking about an underperforming 401k, right? Or maybe they're paying too much. Maybe it's underperforming. What would be some red flags that you're going to make people aware of with respect to their 401k and what's happening to it when you sit down with them?
Well, the number one thing is, if they have an advisor, when was the last time they saw their advisor? It's sad that I speak to business owners and plan sponsors every single day that tell me the last time they saw their advisor was before COVID. And so, I wish I could say that is uncommon, but it's not. Aside from that, I can look at the investment lineup in a 401k plan or a 403b for nonprofits as well. We can look at that lineup, and I can tell by looking at it whether anyone's actually watching it, anyone's monitoring it, or providing advice to the business owners about, let's fix up some of these funds because some of these funds are grossly underperforming their peers. Aside from that, we look at all the fees. I can tell by looking at a plan, for the most part, just because of my experience, that whether they're paying too much for their fees or not. So those are all things where I can't always save clients money. 9 times out of 10, I usually can. My goal isn't always to save a bunch of money, but it is certainly provide better service, better accountability, better investment oversight, and certainly better education of those participants.
Well, and ultimately better performing 401k, right?
Exactly.
That's what we want.
Remember, 401ks, they're going to fall under Department of Labor guidelines, ERISA guidelines, and so therefore no one wants to go through any kind of an audit, whether it be a DOL audit or an IRS audit. So I can't promise our clients are never going to be audited. What I can do is say that, hey, if you are audited, you're going to be prepared and you'll have all the information you need to provide the auditor with what they need to do their audit.
Are the rules with 401ks changing often enough that that it's something they should meet every year to understand what's going on? Because I really don't know that world at all. I don't know how dynamic it is with respect to changes.
I would say this, at least every 3 to 5 years, and I'll give you an example of what I mean by that. Mark, do you have the same phone that you had 10 years ago?
No.
No one does, right? I mean, with technology changing every couple of years, our phones are changing. So just like that, in the employee retirement plan space, technology changes, companies redo their fees. All these things are kind of ongoing. And if you don't keep up with that, you're falling behind. So we really try and get plans up to par, up to current standards from a technology standpoint, get them going.
Okay, so it's definitely not a set it and forget it kind of a situation.
No, it's not.
Well, if someone sparks some interest and they heard you and think, wow, I really need to talk about my 401k plans, how can they get a hold of you?
Hey, they can always call me first at our team number is 210-998-5008. Again, 210-998-5008. And they can always email me at gil.castillo at pwstexas.com. That's gil.castillo@pwstexas.com. You can always find me also too on social media. I am the 401k dude, so look me up there.
All the socials?
Do you have your Instagram or something? Is it 401k dude?
It is. It's Gil. It's at Gil the 401k dude.
Sweet.
Nice. Easy to find.
Yep. Thanks, Gil. Appreciate you coming in.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
You bet.